Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Daniel M. Reeses, and for anyone that's wondering, for the rest of the known future, I will be filming alone. There are many segments that you will see Jamie in when I'm out, and especially when she and I have to interact with other people, or most notably in the car. But for the purposes of the show with no name and for the information and everything like that, I have realized that her presence, well, the truth is it is her that presented this idea, and I realized that her presence not being here anymore would be really the best thing for everyone, because all 5 of our children hate this show universally, and by eliminating her presence, we really just simply make this for what it is. Does this make sense?
It does.
Okay.
It makes a lot
so
of sense.
she will still, we don't lie about her production aspect of it, and she's in the room, but she no longer is a part of the talent. Does that make sense?
It does. I think also I really found something that makes me happy that I didn't know was here.
Okay.
Which is being behind the camera. Is actually something that I enjoy.
Okay,
So,
that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Fortunately for me, I am an egomaniac, so
Perfect.
I can easily take on all the additional roles that were done by Jamie, including doodling next to me and being confused about the questions.
Yeah.
But the reality is that the show format has been solidified and it will not change for the known future. And the format is very simple. I'm in complete control of absolutely everything, and you have no clue of what's coming next. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so which means that this is absolutely the most unpredictable entertainment in the entire world. Now, that being said, before I go into expressing how thankful I am for Ryan Watson for participating in the Ryan Watson test. Now, this is video 2, correct?
Correct.
All right, so this is video 2. This is going to be the most important video because this will set up the full foundation of exactly, right away, I wake up in the morning, this is exactly what I've wanted for the last 6 years of Jamie working. Here is a list of items for me to address on camera. Here's a drink that is exactly what I want. Here is whatever the hell she wants, which is lip gloss for me to constantly wear on camera. It's just there should be some instead of like hamsters that drink out of the thing, Jamie should invent something just constantly just putting lip gloss on me. Jamie, why don't we just, instead of using my computer for digital consciousness, which is the most valuable and most revolutionary thing in the entire world, maybe we should just put more lipstick in there.
We should.
And you should just put shades of lipstick on me, like in Three Amigos.
Exactly.
Exactly. See, there it is.
Good job.
You see, Jamie, and people at home, for what you don't understand is that you live in a world where if you have a lot of followers, you are something called famous. And when you're famous, you could be rich and you could be popular. But for me, I've never wanted to be famous. I've achieved what I wanted to be. I wanted to be infamous. And when you're infamous, that's when you're more than famous. Is that right, Jamie?
It is.
That's what we learned?
We learned.
We learned? Okay. We watched that movie, Three Amigos.
It's so great.
We're about maybe 15 minutes into it. We're at the My Little Buttercup scene. And the Ryan Watson test revolves around, we need to go a little bit slow. So what we're going to do is make sure, and you're going to need to tell me when we get to, we're going to fill this card up with a single take, but you're going to have to tell me when we get to, oh, that's a really smart idea. Ms. Resnick, I got to tell you, I'm really glad you're off the camera. I appreciate the misdirection that you offered for the time that you were needed, but this is great, and I'll explain to you guys why later. But let's run the first Ryan Watson test. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
So, for anyone that has a concern regarding how I will be working, in order to both maximize my ability to communicate with the masses, minimize redundancy, and isolate the core root of what I want to do, I will now present to you how I will be communicating for all of my administrative purposes, meaning that oral arguments to the Supreme Court, as high as that, meaning that there will be an actual oral argument in the Supreme Court, but I will present my writ centorum via YouTube. But here's the trick. The difference between the content that's published versus the content that's not published is that I will expressly state the following. I am here to do good. If you are not here to do good, but you do not hurt anyone, I will not bother you. Which means that if you're not a human being that wants to join me on a quest to make the world a better place, not through some abstract concept and surely not through money, but through very concrete concepts, I will not expose your unwillingness to help those that are less fortunate than you. That being said, I will now give you an example of how I will be working for the rest of my life until I find a better system. Are you ready, Jamie?
I'm ready.
Okay. Now, this needs to pass the Ryan Watson test for it to work. And Ryan Watson, for anyone that doesn't understand, is doesn't really like me too much right now. He has said some things that are not very nice, but I have nothing but good things to say about him for many reasons. But one of them is that I respect both his creative side and his logical and practical side. And it is very rare that I can find a human being like that. And one of the most important things is that you need to be someone that doesn't really like me too much. And my backup for Ryan Watson's already been established. And I already have a backup for that person. And I have set up about 1,500 people. So from Ryan Watson to 1,500, I will find a person who will permanently be able to do the job. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
So it's good because Jamie's not able to keep a straight face. So it's good that she's behind the camera because unfortunately for me, I am extremely insecure. So I fill some of our time in the green room, which is nothing more than taking a break from work, to express some of my ideas so she knows where I'm going with the ideas. So it's good that she's not on camera because she really looks like an idiot sometimes when she's just too happy about making the decision to go work for me. That's the whole point of Jamie's mood. She made one decision in her life that she still has no idea whether or not it's the best decision she's ever made or the worst decision she's ever made. And while everything is up in the air, which will probably be only for 31 more years, she will not be able to have that answer. So as long as I keep stringing her along for the entertainment aspect of what's going on, I can get what I want, which is a very well organized and a very logically thinking mom of 3 beautiful children who has done nothing but good for her entire family her whole life, has never, ever, I've never met a single person that said Jamie did this and it was bad. Not one person, not one human being. Forget about the fact that I've met hundreds of human beings that have vouched for her and her activities, both as a mother, as a friend, as a human being. And I've only heard one person say negative things about her, which is her ex-husband. And only after she caught him doing something that is unspeakable. I don't talk about it on YouTube. Can you imagine how bad it is? Did I get it right so far? Now, this is very simple. Let's present the problem. The problem is that I have found myself in a financial predicament. I don't have the cash resources to sustain the lifestyle that I've been accustomed to over the last quarter of a century. But the problem within the problem is that conventional wisdom will lead to, hey, what did you, Daniel, do to fuck up all of this money that you made? And fortunately for me, it was not me that caused this fuck up. Normally, in these types of scenarios, when a human being either declares for bankruptcy or finds himself in a destructive pattern, it is because of things that they have done. A good example of that is investments made into companies they shouldn't have made them. Human beings who break the law routinely are caught amidst a very controversial and public outing, which then creates a spiral effect of putting all of their income in question. None of that happened to me. My story is very simple. If you know of Bob Menendez, you know that there was a banker that gave him gold bars. That banker was also my banker. I was the one that was the victim of their frauds, and not Fred's, but their frauds. And I happened to be the lucky recipient of more fraud in bankruptcy court. And due to a series of unfortunate events, I found myself in the midst of the largest political corruption scandal in U.S. history. It ended. It ended positively for me with a decade of conviction for both men, approximately a decade, a little less for Fred Davies, but definitely a decade for Bob Menendez. Right, Jamie?
Yes.
Are you sure? Did you hear anything I said?
Bob Menendez.
You weren't paying attention, Jamie. Well, look, short story long, I can't do this show if you're on the phone. So if you're going to be on the phone, you got to let me know, and I can't film.
Okay.
So off camera, you have to do this because you really have messed up everything that I was trying to do.
Okay.
Not that I want to blame you for me losing my train of thought, but if I'm filming a really important segment, unless it's an absolute emergency, in my opinion, whatever you're doing is beyond disruptive. Okay?
Sure. Yeah.
All right? And we'll discuss that off camera. And what I want everyone to see is that whether or not you like the way I speak to Jamie, I am consistent. I am consistent in my management. I am consistent in my friendship. I am consistent when I'm on camera. To me, and thousands of human beings, this channel is very important. You have done an amazing job of this right here, this list, the way you've set everything up, the motivating factors that contribute to the physical attributes of this show, and then you just lost me. So, how do we recover? It's very simple. We're going to go through a step-by-step process of the first element of what I wanted to do in the beginning, and no matter how angry I am not going to let it affect the way I am on camera, because I'm a professional. And sometimes I have to be a professional father. And some people find that to be a joke. But I find being a father a real job. I take it very serious. And every once in a while I have to teach my boys a very serious lesson. No matter how grand or epic you might find what I do is, my jobs that I have a stack of priorities, which means that each one of the jobs is not randomly selected to be the most important job. I know what the job number one is, and my job number one is to be a father. I never break my code. I have made mistakes in the past because I believe that I trusted the wrong person, but I will not make the same mistake twice. I have never double faulted ever in my life. And I have a very strong serve. And if you understood the actual reference, it would blow your mind. But let's get into it. Very simply put, what we're going to do is we're going to take one of your one of your phones, not on this take, but we're going to call this not legaltainment. Legaltainment is what you're watching right now, which is a public version of what I am doing. I have not thought of a name yet, so put Project X. Daniel speaks, semicolon, Daniel speaks. So this is the way we're going to do it. I have a conflict. My conflict is that during a very short window in my life, remember, a human being is, if they're normal and healthy, is easily alive to 80 years old. I found myself in a financial predicament for 2 years out of my life. Luckily, that time has come to an end, but nevertheless, I still need to make the wrongs right. There is an expense that was paid for by Jamie. Jamie only paid for this expense under false pretenses. I have to now correct that issue. Rather than writing a letter that will go absolutely nowhere, I can easily, very calmly put a recording device or even convert the audio from this video into an audio, but it's much better to have a separate device because not everything will be requiring YouTube. But that device will auto dictate. Well, the dictation comes from me, but Jamie, what's the word what's the opposite of dictation? Like, how do you, not transcription.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
Well, it's a transcription app.
Right?
It's a transcribes. So transcribes. It goes from word
Transcriber from
to
dictation.
writing.
Yeah.
That's it, transcribes.
Yeah.
It's a transcription app. So we're going to transition into a format that is much easier to both work in and serve the function of what I'm looking to do, which is record every aspect of every part of my life in order to create enough content of the real me, the real dad, the real businessman, the real Dan Rhesus, so that when it comes time for me to come to an end in this form, there are enough memories and spoken words of me being myself to create a digital version of myself should my life come to an end earlier. If my life goes the way it's planned and I'm not assassinated or find myself in some form of an illness that's incurable, I will get to the point in my life 30 years before the end of my life where I will see the creation of something called digital consciousness, which is the ability of a platform, a software system, or whatever you want to call it, to replicate a human being's consciousness so that when I pass away, my brain and my ability to communicate goes into a computer form for a short amount of time, approximately 300 years, until the technology to create a biogenetically engineered human form, which then that consciousness is downloaded into, and I live forever. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Do you believe that that is a viable option in humanity?
Yes.
Do you now understand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah, especially.
But now that's not the Ryan Watson test.
Okay.
The Ryan Watson test is this. Ryan, my goal is to maximize the amount of output that I have. My problem that I'm looking to solve is that I want to be able to communicate directly while at the same time professionally. So instead of constantly writing or responding to the things that I want to do, I will film the content that I want to film, speak directly to the individuals that I want to resolve the conflict with, and if those people choose to ignore me or hurt me in direct response to me trying to resolve this conflict, then I can show the world that even the nicest human beings who have business models that are designed to teach your children, if this human being is designed to make his money for his family by being a role model for children, then if that person chooses to hurt another human being, they will be exposed publicly for it. Does that make sense? Which means that there's no threats, there's no allegations of wrongdoing. I do not extort anyone for money, but in order to understand that I can't keep working like as if I'm in a hamster wheel, I have to be able to create a business flow where, see, I can stop the robot. Let's say that we refresh, okay? So video 2 is going to encompass the Ryan Watson test 1.0. And that is, Ryan, do you think that it's a good idea for me to avoid the endless pitfall of the cycles of writing emails that simply go nowhere, or using AI, which clearly is artificial intelligence, so that the people that are reading it do not respect it nearly as much as they used to before ChatGPT? I filmed the video that I want to film and speak directly. So for example, Ryan, I want you to know that the Ryan Watson test is a dual balanced, time-sensitive reflection model, which means that I test you at the same time as you test this application, because you are a very intelligent and capable human being. I think you're a great dad. I think you're a great husband. And I think that you're wrong about being on Team Ginger. So, should you not accept my challenge, you will be on Team Ginger forever. But should you want to show your children an example that you want to lead to conflict resolution and not being the instigator, then you will choose Team Soy Ginger. Now, Team Soy Ginger is something that a geisha would serve as a regular meal. Do you understand anything I'm saying right now, Jamie?
Yeah.
So a Resnick combination is soy ginger.
Got it.
You understand?
I got it.
That wink was for you and the audience. So now, Ryan, I want to invite you to be a member of Team Soy Ginger. There are 5 children on that team. Biologically speaking, there are 2 men that are leading the Team Soy Ginger. Team Soy Ginger is a very, very viable force in Livingston. And we are the gold standard for how you should act at a time of conflict. Because we are about to come together in a positive light and resolve all of our conflicts. Or, there's always option 2. But unfortunately, when it comes to 1 child, forget about 5, I will never give anyone a second option. It's only 1 option, Team Soy Ginger. Does that make sense?
Total sense.
Would you like to join Team Soy Ginger?
I would.
Cool. You have invested a little too much to now join it, but Mr. Watson will be lucky enough to be able to make a choice. He could easily ignore. So now by choosing to ignore, that's choosing option 2, by the way.
Okay.
So if there's no one that reaches out to either me or you in some way of shape or form saying, we want to be a part of Team Soy Ginger and we want to see a conflict resolution because we don't want to see your kids in pain. You see,
yeah.
It's, if someone chooses to ignore this, they are okay with our children being in pain. If they want to be the person they've perpetrated themselves to be that they look at in the mirror, they're going to choose Team Soy Ginger. Does that make any sense?
Complete and total sense.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think it's a good idea?
I think it's a great idea.
Great.
I like it.
So
Great
I
test.
need Mr. Ryan Watson to tell me if he believes that this idea of me minimizing the amount of work I do, maximizing the output, and maximizing to the absolute max a full balanced calendar of events that are required to get from point A to point Z, which is happy children and all bills paid, in reverse to sleeping on Jamie's couch and screaming that the township has robbed me of $6,000 on top as a cherry on top of the 5 times they've illegally arrested me for whatever reason. So that's where A is. And Z is happy children and all bills paid. I do not expect any free falls. Free falls as in like, I don't want to be the unlucky recipient of receiving money for no reason. Does that make sense, Jamie? Everything that I earn, I want to make sure I earn.
Yes, 100%.
And there's a series, so going
No
forward, I will not touch my laptop. So the goal is for me to not touch my laptop. You understand?
I love it.
Okay? I will only touch my laptop when I'm with my boys, and obviously you're not around, and I need to do work. And that means that you will need to manage my laptop so it's absolutely perfect the way I do it at all times, so that email is checked on mine, so that when I am not in a work capacity, I can be left the fuck alone. I have now drawn the line between YouTube and my personal life. That's it. If I'm not being recorded, there's nothing to worry about. If I'm in the middle of work, it's very important. I have now explained to everyone why I spent the last 5 months recording every aspect of all things that concern my business life. By the actions taken by my wife and her family, my business life crossed into my personal life because I wasn't able to manage my real estate. That's it. Ryan, I hope that just soy ginger alone is enough to pass the Ryan Watson test. Because if I can't pass that test, I very much apologize. But I do not want you to be the 2 words before the word test. So you do not need to worry about any harassing videos. I will never use you or Corey as any form of legaltainment or reference. You will, however, be required to be a key witness in several trials because you are on something called Team Ginger. Does this make any sense? We're going to go ahead and cut the clip. So what I'm going to say right now is, before I sign off, I wanted to let everybody know that my second video is this video. Is that correct, Ms. Resnick?
Yes.
This one will go up immediately because today is what day?
Today is February 12th, 2026.
Next time you make one of these, make sure that the date and the time that you're making it is in the title or somewhere as a standard.
Sure.
Cool. Love this thing. Can't work with it without that. So that being said, I want to let everybody know that I have now completed Pro Slay in full, which means that if you are my enemy in court and you choose not to resolve the conflict amicably, you are completely fucked. That is something that I was hoping to avoid getting to at a time where I am in conflict with my wife, because unfortunately anyone going against me in court will find themselves the unlucky recipient of the same thing as going against a top tier national firm, except until I find a legal partner, I lack one small element, a chink in my armor that you can exploit. Not to win, but to buy yourself a little bit more time. And on that note, I just wanted to say I love you boys. Everything I do are for Drake and Pierce Rhesus, so that I could speak to them at a time where I no longer am alive. Because my name is Daniel M. Rhesus, and there are 2 things that I do really well. And one of them I'm done doing. Done doing. which means I'm all out of bubble gum. Goodbye. You know, I really don't want to be filming anymore, and I thought that it was good enough, but unfortunately my producer did not find it to be that good. So what would you like to let me know what I did wrong so I could, you know, augment it and really give the audience a perfect smile? Because I know how to smile, except until my boys are immediately returned to me in my life, it is problematic for me to be the charismatic, lighthearted host that I really am.
Yeah.
I am one of the few people I know that has the ability to forgive. Everyone knows that that is a power that very few human beings that have the ego and the intelligence that I have the ability to do. I am looking forward to forgiving myself first, then I would like to forgive my enemies, and then I would ask for forgiveness. Those are the 3 steps that are required. So now I will teach you how to apologize. Step 1, Ms. Resnick, please write this down. Step 1, forgive yourself. Step 2, forgive your enemy. Step 3, ask for forgiveness. Those 3 steps must be conducted in an organized, private, or public, depending on a mutually agreed form. There are many human beings, like the Kardashians, who are in the business of legaltainment because of Kim Kardashian's choices and because everyone's a dick rider and has to copy me, so it doesn't even matter if it's the Kardashians, everyone has to copy me. And I own a law firm in California, and Kim Kardashian has failed to become a lawyer in California. I'm in the middle of 25 of some of the coolest litigations that you can imagine as examples of pro se litigation in the future, and Kim Kardashian is making a show about fake shit to confuse and hurt human beings and to make divorce look cool, right, Jamie?
Yeah.
So that's horrible, Kim. So you're gonna end the show. What season are they on?
152. I'm not kidding. It seems
No.
it's so late.
Kardashians, I'm not ending. Kardashians
What
are
show are
very
you talking
important.
about?
Kim Kardashian started a show where she is pumping.
Oh,
the
the law firm one.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
is the
know.
end.
I think it's 1 season, maybe.
Well, there's no way. It's always planned for 2 seasons, unless it's a failure.
I don't
And
know.
if I'm talking about it on the channel, it means it's not a failure. So that means after season 2, that's it. That's the point. You're supposed to get it, especially after you see this episode. And Kim, with all due respect, like, you have the money to get divorced. What you're lacking is that you make divorce seem like going to the bathroom because you have hundreds of millions of dollars and you can afford childcare even when you're with your children. Forget about the fact that you can go work and afford childcare. And by glorifying divorce, especially being a divorce lawyer, which is something that's not going to be required in the future because equitable distribution is very easy to calculate when you have a couch. What that means is that human beings that are in the law profession do not like to take cases where there are no children or assets involved because they can't bill additional hours. That is extremely disturbing once accepted as reality. And that, Jamie, is reality television. Is that good enough?
Much better.
All right, just can you cut this shit off because I need a break.